Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode one of Everse Chat. I am your host, Kel, and this episode is brought to you by my couch for providing hours and hours of comfort while I record these sessions. Okay, well, welcome to episode one. I should say episode zero of Everse Chat. Everse Chat is really a podcast for aspiring entrepreneurs, uh, current entrepreneurs, and people that just are interested in the life and times of entrepreneurs at large. So, while I am your host, and you will hear a range of crazy stories that I have, I really want to feature the community. Everse Chat is about community. It came about really the inspiration for Everse Chat was a group of entrepreneurs and myself. We were talking at a volunteer event where we mentor high school age kids for about a week, and we started asking questions. Hey, do you stay up sometimes and just think of crazy ideas, or what keeps you up at night? And what motivates you to keep going? And we realized we were more alike than we were dissimilar. And we really bonded over that. And I wanted to bring that to a wider forum. So that's one of the genesis stories of Everse Chat. Another one is which really got me going on this was, I came home from dinner with my wife, and we were just discussing all the different businesses that I had, how they were going, just the state of things. And I was looking online. I think I was showing her some crazy video on YouTube. YouTube just kind of sucks you in. And I said, hey, well, maybe I should start a podcast or a vlog or something. I have all these stories. I have all these opinions, and just from some speaking engagements that I've had prior, people seem to be interested. And look at all these YouTube videos with all these views, and look at how many people I can reach. And so we kind of sat down. I came up with the dumbest names ever. I'm not even going to share them. So shout out to my local entrepreneur group, The Well, for helping me come up with Everse Chat, which really encapsulates what Everse Chat is about, what this podcast is about, creating a community, creating a universe for entrepreneurs where you don't feel like the alien. A lot of entrepreneurship, self-employment, business ownership. There's this sense of otherness, like you are always the other, and you see it when you try and buy a house, and they look at you and say, "Okay, well, hey, where's your W-2?" And you're like, well, I could have one, but I would be the one signing the check, so it's kind of weird. And when you explain your job to other people, they ask, "What do you do? Where do you work for?" And then you have to cross that awkward bridge. This is a place where there are no awkward bridges in that regard because we're all kind of on that bridge together, so it's not awkward. Yeah, so that's really what Everse Chat is about. You can expect about 15 to 20 minutes worth of content each episode. There are extended episodes available on Patreon. So that is a way to support Everse Chat. So if you want to get more in depth there, you can explore, and I will provide a link below. My main platform is YouTube. I will be branching out later to iTunes and maybe SoundCloud. I don't know. I want to keep it simple, and keep things rolling. So if you have any friends that are entrepreneurs, send them the link. If I say something funny or whatever, go ahead and share it. This is meant to be out there. So typically, how these episodes will work, we'll pick a topic, maybe two if it's something short, and we'll just discuss it. I'll give my thoughts. If I have a guest, sometimes I'll have guests on here. We'll just go back and forth. So it's very informal. It's really about opinion and sparking uh, conversation and thought. So, some things will be pretty provocative, and, meaning that I want to provoke thought. I want to provoke comments. I want to hear what other people think and, break through some of those barriers that tend to keep us entrepreneurs very isolated from each other. But, before we get into that, this being episode 0, the introduction, I feel like I should introduce myself. My name is Kellen. I go by Kel. And I'm a serial entrepreneur, serial business person, whatever you want to call it. This is the way of life that I've chosen. And, I would say I first really became interested in entrepreneurship in college. So I would say my first quote unquote business was 2007, six, something like that, and it was a terrible idea. It was bad, but I created a website where students can upload their quote unquote research. For other students to use in their papers. Basically, it was plagiarism. And I did like a little marketing campaign and everything on Facebook before they had Facebook ads, I believe. And I made a grand total of $5. I was so excited. It was $5, and I think I spent it like the next day on Panda Express or something like that. But hey, I put something out there and I made money, and that really got me thinking. And I was telling my brother, I was like, "Look, I made $5, and if I can multiply that every day, then I could make $1,000, and that would be crazy because in college $1,000 is somehow like equivalent to like $1 trillion. um, but that's university exchange is what it was, and it probably lasted like 3 months. So I made $5 in 3 months, and I told the world like, hey, look at me, I'm rich. Um, so that was my first real foray into business. After that, my first, I don't want to call it real, but more serious business venture was still in college. It was about a year later, and I was just sitting around on my computer. At the time, I lived with like 8 people. My rent was like $350. Um, and I was just on my computer. I think I was drawing or something. And my brother called me up and he's like, "Hey, I have this business idea, but I don't really know the business side of it." He's a pharmacist, and at the time he was in pharmacy school. And so I said, "Oh well, hey, I know business. I know how to start a business. I had a class on it." So that was kind of the beginning of our business, and that was 2010, and we're still doing it to this day. So that's 8, almost 9 solid years of our flagship company. Since then, we've branched out to at its max probably 11 different companies. We're starting to scale back just because it got really ridiculous, and we're focusing on the things that matter. So there is an ebb and flow of the business world, from the entrepreneur standpoint of you ride this roller coaster, which I will probably have a whole episode on that idea of the roller coaster. um, our business, all of our businesses, except for maybe one or two, are in healthcare. So that is, my de facto entrepreneurship background is healthcare. So pharmacy, clinics, all of that. and that world has, has its own set of crazy. You will hear plenty of stories of, you know, just insane things that have happened. Some things I definitely have to be careful about what I say, but they're all it's all for the sake of learning, um, and it's all fun. You know, one thing you learn as a business owner is, all those heartbreaking times that you sit up and you're like 4 a.m., like, oh my God, what am I going to do tomorrow? What is going to happen? I don't know. You have to find a way to eventually laugh at them, and learn from them. And like I keep saying, I have plenty of stories that I'll share. Maybe someone from HBO is listening to this, and they'll interview me and make a movie or a series about it. Definitely is, that caliber of crazy. So, without talking about myself too much, there will be plenty of opportunity later on. I want to get into the first segment. So for our first segment, I want to talk about, you know, the very beginning of that entrepreneurial spark, and really the state of being an entrepreneur. It is a very, very different lifestyle. It is a lifestyle choice. Even though, it's a mode of making money, it's only part of your life. It is a lifestyle choice. And part of that comes with, you know, knowing how to balance work and life. I think for, people that have a regular 9 to 5 is very, I wouldn't say easy, but it is more structured in that, you go to work and then you come home and you have that transition where you can reset your mind. A lot of entrepreneurs start at home. I mean, or as many companies as we have, the offices that we have slash had, while we're transitioning, I still, for the majority of my time, I still work from home. So that transition and nailing the transition, there's something of value there that we as entrepreneurs we kind of miss out on. And I feel like something that does is, it really, really challenges your sense of self and your legitimacy as an entrepreneur. And one thing I think a lot of entrepreneurs battle with is, the same thing that doctoral students go through. Something that I did in my doctoral studies. Um, what is it? It's called imposter syndrome, where you feel like you're not really one of them. You're a wannabe. You want to be an entrepreneur, but you're not. And my message is you are. Whether you have a thought, whether you are writing something down on a piece of paper, after you get home from work, you are an entrepreneur. Putting the act of dragging an idea from the depths of your mind and fleshing it out to the point where you can monetize. Not even it's not always about monetization. Sometimes these are nonprofits, sometimes these are just little ad hoc things. The act of creating a system of work or system of ideation itself, is entrepreneurship. So my message to you is that don't doubt yourself more than others are doubting you. There are going to be a lot of people out there that say, maybe you should, just do it as a side thing. Don't listen to that. You have to believe in what you are doing more than anything else. So, what are your thoughts on that? I want to hear from everybody out there. Like I said, I want to keep these short, maybe 15, 20 minutes, depending on the topic. But yeah, so this will wrap up episode 0. I want to hear your feedback. What do you have to say? I am very responsive to the comments. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, suggestions, I want to hear them. Since this is on YouTube, go ahead and like and subscribe. Hit the alerts button, the notification button, that little bell, to let you know when a new episode is launched or released. You should expect maybe once, maybe twice a week. And all these special extended episodes are going to be on Patreon. You can support me however you like. I'm not going to really try and hold you captive there, but it is a way to keep this thing going and probably get some better audio quality. I know you can hear one of my dogs snoring in the background, but he gets special treatment because he's old. So yeah. So if you don't want to hear dogs barking in the background, doorbells ringing, go ahead and support me on Patreon. If you just want to be a part of the journey, you're more than welcome to stay on YouTube and just listen for free. So it's really up to you, but I hope either way you really make this community your own. So be active, be in the comments, and feel free to reach out. So until next time, talk to you later.